Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey everyone, how are you doing? My apologies for the very late start, but I had some wifely duties to attend to. And in this particular case, family came before profession. So I apologize for the late start, but we have got some very, very important things to talk about. First, let me get to these super chats. Thank you so much, Barry Little. Says cookout entry fee for roasting the prince of pseudo Pan-Africanism and pandering chief. Hey, listen, we're going to get into it. We're going to really actually get into it. Okay. So thank you so very much for your contribution. Thank you so much once again for that. Thank you, Steve H., just for the love. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Death before dishonor. Say hail to the Prince of Pander. Exactly. And thank you, J.S. Hooper. Said Prince of Panhandling. Donate to Hotel Hogwarts. I'm done. I am so done with that. Okay. So we have to really talk about, you know what? Let me get my notes together. We have to really talk about all the points of the gynocracy. I talk about all the hyenas, including the male ones, and he's one of them. You know, I tried to be diplomatic about it, and I can't. I can't. Listen. It's hard to tell the difference between a female and a male hyena. I bite them all. They all smell the same. They do that same, you know, it's the same little noise, and I can't. All of them. Same noise. And I can't tell. So when I hear that noise, it get my blood up. You feel me? Lionesses, you get their blood up. You hear that noise going through the plane like that. I can't take it. You know? Thank you so much. Stanley John says for the super sticker. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Now, my good sis Chantel Simone covered it. She had the clip of him talking about in reference to Carlee Russell and her being arrested. He was on some, and I couldn't find the clip on its own by itself to show you. It's always embedded in someone else's content. Thank you, Marcus Evans and Umar, making us men look bad. It's not just Umar. You know, if it was just Umar, it wouldn't even be really worthy of discussion. But it is worthy of discussion because in reference to Carlee Russell's arrest, he was somewhere talking about some, and for all of those who think she should be arrested and persecuted and prosecuted, I disagree. You know, All that she really needs, and I'm paraphrasing, all that she really need is for, to come, give her a hug and say, sister, don't do it no more. First of all, that's dumb. A little white girl just got arrested for doing the exact same thing Carlee just did a couple of days ago. And I'm going to tell you the importance of that, the magnitude of that. See, it actually goes beyond, oh, she was a white girl and got arrested, so a black girl is going to get arrested or should get arrested for doing the same thing. See, it actually kind of goes beyond that. What Umar is talking about, the mindset that he has, is why the black gynocracy still stands. It's why we even having these conversations still. It's why the manosphere has gone on so long. It is why chicks like Carlee, his shenanigans with Sukihana, chicks like all over the nation, all over social media, black chicks are running wild because somewhere in their vicinity, either somewhere in their social media world or somewhere in their physical world, they got a simp, a maggle, ready to fight you, ready to delete you off the back of her foolishness. Now, somebody might say, well, Dr. Umar ain't deleted nobody, so you're going too far. I'm not going too far. I'm not going too far. No, he hasn't deleted anybody, to my knowledge. But it's the mindset, because somebody else that's about that life will. And they have. They've done it before, and they will continue to do so. Now, I'm going to tell you the significance of that little 11-year-old in Florida getting arrested. If you watched the news clip, the police, her father, all of the people involved, they arrested this little girl. They was in an uproar because of her text messages, okay, that she was sending to dispatch. When they located her, they realized that she was texting and she was lying. There was no perpetrator. There was no kidnapping. Nothing was actually happening. So what they ended up doing was they actually arrested her, like with handcuffs. And the police was telling her, you're going to learn something today. You're going to learn something today. And they made that little girl spend a night in jail. She's going to get fined. Her 5 parents and stuff going to be fined for the shenanigans that she pulled. And it was one thing that them police officers said. That is why there are white women who are feminists, but they don't have the same kind of gynocracy black folk got, because they got a different thought pattern on certain things. Okay. And the thing about what he said, if she doesn't learn a strong, stern lesson now, not only will she feel free to tell these sorts of stories on somebody, get somebody hurt, get somebody killed, get somebody jailed, get somebody in trouble that don't need to be in trouble. Other little girls, other of our girls will feel that this is something that they can play with, and this is something that they can do, and nothing will happen. So they said, well, we know she's a little girl, but she wasn't too little to tell that lie. So she's not too little to get some consequences behind it. Now, it's stern to her because she's 11. Spending the night in jail, being somewhere strange, having folks tell you what to do and be rough with you and stuff like that. Then, You know, that's hard. That's hardcore for an 11-year-old girl. Okay, that's hardcore. All right. Most 11-year-old girls, that's hardcore for them. All right. They ain't not going to forget that no time soon. And they are not going to like it. And they're going to do what they can to stay away from doing certain things. Okay. Now, the issue is that them white men wasn't simping for her. A little girl. They wasn't simping for a little girl. Nope. You got to learn, because we have to cut all the cancer out before it get a chance to grow and become malignant and metastasize and all of this other stuff. Got to cut the cancer. You can't do that. Now, here we have a grown Black woman. Mind you, let me bring something else to everybody's consideration. She still ain't said what she was doing for 2 days. We still don't know where she was at. We don't know who she was with. We don't know what she was doing. And we don't know who she was with and doing it with, to, or for. She still ain't explained that. And standing in a mugshot grinning like this is cute. And it seemed cute to her because her parents backed her up on this foolishness. You got a man that don't even know her. Dr. Umar do not know her. And he is somewhere on a live stream, on a broadcast somewhere, talking about give her a hug, talking about don't do it no more, like she's a child. When that is a grown, funky woman that made a conscious decision to create an elaborate lie. This is an elaborate lie. This wasn't no little small nothing. She actually called law enforcement and lied about seeing a child on the shoulder of a highway. Ain't seen nothing nowhere, in an attempt to lay groundwork for her supposed kidnapping, only to show back up like the ignorant dunce cap that she is, to come back to her mama house and act like something was wrong with her. She was still lying, act like something was wrong with her. Her mom and daddy covered for her. I don't know if they figured it out before everybody. They had to figure it out before everybody else. Now, don't nobody want to talk. And at first, you had her, the mother and father, all in front of the news camera, talking about, oh, we got to bring Carlee home, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now that she's a liar that cost the state of Alabama thousands of dollars in manhunting hours, resources to try to find you, and you ain't missing. You done cooked up an elaborate scheme. You done cooked up one of them Acme schemes. Your scheme ain't no better than Pinky in the Brain. What we gonna do tonight? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Her scheme ain't no better than Pinky and the Brain, because no matter what Brain came up with, they always end up back in that cage. So her scheme was no better than Pinky and the Brain. She wasn't coming up with nothing no better than an Acme trap like Wile E. Coyote. She was coming up with these Looney Tunes scheme. A 5th grader could have did something better than that. You see, an 11-year-old thought of it. Do you understand that? An 11-year-old thought of it. And not only do you have Dr. Umar, You have Tamika Mallory that had to publicly come back, backtrack everything that she said, eat her words, then gonna try to cover it talking about some maybe it's got to be some mental health somewhere to make you do that. No, ain't no mental. Stupid is not a mental condition. Okay, that is not a mental health issue. Stupid is not nothing that a psychologist or a psychiatrist can help you with. You're just ignorant. And you're bad at planning things. You're bad at it. You somewhere done looked up taken. Let me get to these super chats. Thank you. What's a king to a god? Said peace and blessings, DJ Fish Grease and chat. Here's a seasoning donation to put the Pan-African Pookie in a pot of Blackfeet gumbo. Salute. Thank you so much. There's no mental. Y'all always want to jump to these chicks got a mental issue. Now, if somebody call them crazy, you'll be mad. They ain't got no mental issue. They are doing stuff consciously and purposely. They are adults and they are making decisions. Just because the decisions are asinine doesn't mean that they have a mental problem. They're just stupid. They just don't have any foresight. They don't plan well. They can't even lie good. But the real issue is men like Dr. Umar. See, if it was just Dr. Umar, this wouldn't be an issue. But there are too many Dr. Umars in our so-called community. We're going to cook a simp today. Because if we're going to talk about all of the gynocracy, we're going to talk about all of it. Every component of the gynocracy. Because a man that can sit up there and excuse every single Black woman and her foolishness, no matter how detrimental it is, listen, let me tell you something. Men like him, the simps, are the safety net that Black women have been relying on for all these years to keep their foolishness alive and to keep it justified. We're gonna talk about this today. Because it is men like Dr. Umar that will hurt you over the foolishness of one of these hyenas. Knowing full and well that she lying, knowing full and well that she causes trouble, that she makes all types of problems for everybody, they don't care what she do. They are ready to burn down the entire community off for the approval of Black women and for the sex of them, or the thought of the sex, or the promise or the potential of the sex that they are not even getting. The approval of a hyena just so he don't get his neck bit by one of them this time. He can only take it a couple of times a month. Can't do it every week. There's something that I want everybody to know. That the simp, I'm going to tell you something about a simp. The simp is arguably the most dangerous component of the gynocracy, more than the women. More than the women. The simp is more dangerous than his female hyena counterpart, to the detriment of the community. Hey, Rando said you forgot she bought snacks before her great escape. Exactly. Thank you. Chano said the lost value system is the mental institution, crazy house of the hyena and her offspring. Exactly. And thank you. Trey said this is why all the women who call into KS show wanted him to speak more like Dr. Umar. Right. To cater to and to coddle and to babysit that foolishness. And nobody has time for that. The simp is actually more dangerous in the gynocracy than the women are. Because the women are front and center, right? Many times it's the women that we see getting on social media, making a problem, making trouble, making a fool out of themselves, the railroad men, being vulgar, being mad. So many times we see the women, just because the simp is more quiet, just because he's a little bit more reserved, just because he's not there to make a fool out of himself publicly along with her. He's there to enforce her foolishness. That is what he's there for. The women are the ringleaders and they are the public. They the front people for the gynocracy. But the simp is the foundation upon which she stands. The gynocracy could have been gone 50 years ago had it not been for a simp. That is why it has been so important within the gynocracy, within the hyena clan, to section off these boys and raise them like that, because that is where the muscle come from. That is where the foundation is at. If they didn't have simps to justify, to rationalize, and even to go so far as to commit violence on their behalf, to commit violence on somebody to protect an honor that they do not have and do not protect on their own. If it wasn't for them, the simp, the hyena would have been gone. She would not have had a leg to stand on. She would have had to disappear because it wasn't no strong support. See, people think it's the sisterhood support that keep them afloat. Actually, it's not. It's the sisterhood connection that keep them delusional. But the foundation is the simp. The sisterhood is there to keep the delusions going. The sisterhood is there so she can have somebody to talk to that's going to commiserate with her and that's going to uphold her BS, because she got BS she upholding too. And that's what they do. They support each other in the foolishness and talk crap and do all that other kind of stuff, because the sisterhood don't like each other either. I've told y'all that before. There is no sisterhood there. There is no sisterly camaraderie there. It's all built on a lie. They don't actually like each other. They don't rock with each other. They don't really help each other when it counts. They only help each other in foolishness. That's all they do. Let me get to these super chats really quickly. Thank you, Mass Man Pro said the cooking of Simp Mar Johnson was long overdue. Keep it coming, Chef Kendra. It's very overdue. Thank you so much, H. Lewis. No way Umar was raised by a man. He's defending the women that creates him. It's the circle white supremacists want us on. Thank you so much. Anthony said, check out TikTok. More hyenas are going to Dubai for trips. Yeah, they're going to find a little surprise over there. Thank you, LJ. So Miss Crimson, this message is so on point. I had to send an offering. Thanks, my sister, for all you do. Thank you so much. Thank you, Well B. Says Sister Kendra, when I heard Dr. Umar say what he said about Carlee, I sat there wondering how he said that with a straight face. Because this is the life of a simp. This is the life of a simp. Thank you so much, 39 Dina. Sweetheart, thank you. Freeman said, hi, there is a new form of simping which consists in saying that white men who gave a bad image are migrants. Some use a xenophobic word, tether. I don't like that tether word. I don't like that word. To me, it's a derogatory word. It's derogatory and it's being used in a way that is being weaponized in certain conversations. So I refrain from that word because I don't like the connotation of that word. Thank you, Stardust said, lose the Simps Foundation. The house collapses. Exactly. So what we're going to do, we're going to finish cooking it because there are some very important lessons that we need to speak on. But after these messages, we'll be right back.
Friends and family, I would like you to check out blackcommunityspeak.com. Now, blackcommunityspeak.com is a forum-based website, so something that's very simple, where you can get on, you can get off, get involved with a lot of topics. Now, Black Community Speaks is a place that's for black men and women to talk about issues that's affecting the entire community. So on blackcommunityspeak.com, they talk about topics in the range of news, what's going on in society, relationships, technology, business, food and recipes, gaming, health and fitness, music, and many, many more. On Black Community Speak, it's a place where you can be safe to say what you want to say without the fear of big tech censorship. So make sure you head on over to blackcommunityspeak.com and sign up today.
All right. So what you all want to do is click the link at the top of the chat, Black Community Speaks. Head over there. It's a beautiful forum. I like the fact that the forum has been created so that black men and women are able to go into a space without all of the heavy censorship where different topics can be discussed freely. So I urge you to go over, click the link, sign up, register, and become part of the conversation. Once again, that link is blackcommunityspeak.com. All right. Okay. So we're going to get back to, I owe y'all, so I owe y'all something. Bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to, So all of you hit the like button. I don't know how many likes we got, but I know we got 1,000 people in here. So I should have a good amount of likes. Thank you so much. If you are watching the show and you realize you are not subscribed to the show, well, you got to subscribe to the channel so that you can be made aware of all of the content that I drop. And there is content every day, something that is going to add value to you each day. So make sure that you are not only liking, sharing, but also subscribing, hit the notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. So now we can get back to this talk. Like I said before, without the simp as the foundation, put a 1 in the chat if you realize that simping is the foundation of the gynocracy. Put a 1 in the chat if you realize that. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't know that or you disagree with that. Yeah, I figured, because see, it's simps like the guy that married the chick anyway after she was at the altar laughing and telling him how much of a problem she's gonna be in his life. See, you can't thank you, Elite T. Elite T put it in the chat. The simps are the enablers. Let's talk a little bit about an enabler and what an enabler actually does and how they play such a critical role in the dysfunction that they are enabling. If you have ever had or seen like a drug addict or an alcoholic, the number one thing that keep that alcoholic or that drug addict going is the enabler. And it doesn't matter what kind of addiction. If you've ever watched My 600-Pound Life, usually the family is some family member is the enabler. Because check it, if you 597 pounds and you can't really get up out of bed, how you getting all that food you eat? The enabler. They the ones going ordering Uber Eats, cooking you the whole world and feeding it to you in one shot. All of that kind of stuff. You just got an IV of cookie dough running into your veins. They setting that up. Do you know you done got skinny around me? All you gonna do is lay in that little musty room and argue. You gonna get a salad today. Try me. Where's my chicken? I don't know where it is. It's clucking in the farm. Eat the salad. I don't want it. Well, don't eat it. You ain't got to eat it. But I promise you, I'm not getting in there cooking 5 whole chickens. I promise you that. I promise you, I won't be nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Buying them little cakes up out of the out of them little Walmart cakes. I promise you, I'm not gonna feed you a bunch. I promise you, you won't get that. You gonna get some water and some fruit. Don't eat it. You'll be done starved in 5 to 7 days. You got a lot of fat. Your body can just eat itself. I'm not enabling you. When I used to watch Intervention. How many of y'all used to watch Intervention? I used to watch Intervention. And in just about every case, the person never got off drugs because of the enabler. And the enabling can come in so many different ways. I give you a place to stay so you don't have to hit rock bottom. I give you money because I feel sorry for you. But you doing nothing but using that money to go get hit. That's all you doing. You crashes over here and cause trouble in my house because you're a drug addict and you're trifling and all of this other kind of stuff. You got drug traffic in and out of here. You got, you know what I'm saying? I got kids in the house and whatever, but I'm trying to look out for you, make sure you don't got to lay in the street and all of that type of stuff because I'm your mama or whatever it is I am to you or who you are to me. And I'm doing this and doing that. And your study goes back out there and make all kind of excuses and you make promises. I ain't going to do it no more. I ain't going to smoke no more. You know, and all this kind of stuff. I'm done with it. And then 2 weeks later, you know, once the withdrawals start hitting you, then you start scheming and calculating how you going to steal the money out the drawer and go back out there and get you hit. And on and on and on and on. And only when there are no more enablers so that the drug addict can go ahead and hit rock bottom. See, you got to get tough. That's what they mean by tough love. It don't mean I don't love you. It just means I'm not going to enable you on your foolishness. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I am not going to make excuses for you. I am not going to make a way for it to happen. I'm not going to look out. I'm not going to do nothing. You're going to have to go on out there and hit rock bottom. Go on. As my grandma used to say, go on, go on, go on, go on, head on. Because I'm not going to make excuses. This is why I have never did the some black women and all the disclaimers. And I'm going to tell you why you can't meet this level of foolishness with mercy and talking about some just trying to see it and be lenient and be. I'm going to tell you why you can't do it. Because mercy and being the talking to somebody like, I'm just going to try to get you to see what it is. And we don't have to do a harsh punishment, but, just try to have mercy, just try to have empathy. The problem with doing that with a hyena is that hyenas don't do any reflection. They don't do any self-reflection. See, that only works with people that will reflect if they get leniency, if they get a mercy, if they get a second chance or a second time around. They actually understand what they did wrong, why it was wrong, and they don't want to repeat that again, so they correct themselves because they want to be corrected. They don't want to do whatever it was that made them have to be even in a position to ask somebody for some mercy. That only works for people that are not in the lost value system, to be honest. Because you have to have some type of spiritual base to even make you be self-reflective in the first place. Because if you can self-reflect, that means you can self-correct. Black women do not self-correct. They do not correct themselves. They do not allow others to correct them. So meeting them with mercy doesn't do anything but enable them and provide a safety net where they can rationalize and justify what they've done so they can do it again. Because they know that no matter what they do, it's always going to be a simp somewhere to catch them when they fall. Walking a tightrope 30 feet high ain't that scary when you know that always, every single time you happen to stumble, it's a big old air cushion, a net, you got a harness on. You ain't gonna hurt yourself. So you ain't half paying attention. You ain't really putting forth the effort. You just, you doing anything cross that tightrope because you don't care. Because even if you happen to fall, you're not going to hurt yourself. Because there's always something under you that's going to catch you and make sure that you're not completely, out of it. And that you, no. See, this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do to break the gynocracy. There can be no leniency. We cannot be all talking about making excuses and mental health issues and how they grew up. And I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about how a hyena grew up. I don't want to hear about why she got back feet and all that kind of stuff. After a certain age, I don't want to hear about what your growing up was like. And the same thing go with these simps. The same thing goes with these son husbands. I'm not caring about the fact that your mammy raised you up as a son husband because you're 35. You ain't figured it out yet? What's wrong with you? Huh? Thank you, Jake Neely said, cook them simps. Says, oh yeah, we cooking up a simp today. Thank you, Stardust said, what's worse, the simps are being pimped. Thank you, JS said, it would be remarkable to see what would happen to Umar on a panel with you and Pink Book lessons. His entire ideology would collapse. That would actually be quite fun. Okay. Thank you, Ty Boxing said O.J. Simpsons will do the dirty work for the hyena. Then, when he gets prison time, the same hyena will turn around and say, I did not force him to do anything he didn't want to do willingly. Exactly. And I'm not feeling sorry that he got jail time, because it's if you want to know who's doing all of the shooting, who's doing all of this violence, who's running around, because I don't know what's going on with this generation. All y'all do is twerk and kill. This generation don't do nothing but twerk and kill. I swear y'all don't know nothing else. Y'all don't do nothing else. Y'all don't think about nothing else. Who is doing, who's tearing the community down from a violent standpoint? The shootings in Chicago, the crime rates in Detroit and Baltimore and all of these other places. The vast majority of these dudes be simps and son husbands. I told y'all. I told y'all. Death before dishonor said the simp who sat by the door. I'm done with y'all. This is what I'm talking about. Did she get evaluated? Yes, they evaluated her. They found nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with them other than they are in the lost value system and they dumb. And they trifling. And they heartless. I'm telling y'all that it is the simp. The female hyena is wild and she out there and she public and she's extremely manipulative and destructive. This we know. But the simp is more dangerous than her. Because without him, she falls. And the problem with the simp is that he vigorously and vehemently protects his position. He don't want to not do it. He doesn't want to not support her. That's the danger. He doesn't want to not support her. He will fight his fellow Black men. He will gun you down. He will end your life. They'll go back and forth all summer shooting and spraying the block and spinning the block, and they'll do it all because some hyena somewhere put a battery in a simp's back, and there you go. And it's so problematic because it's so many of them. Think about it. It's been the last 40, 50 years of Black women, of feminizing Black men like that, growing up in these single mother households. Can you imagine the amount of simps, the simp army? Thank you, Kashinsky said, cook these simps. They get no respect. I played the simp role. Doesn't work at all. No, it does not. Thank you, Stardust Gone with the simps. See, I'm done. Thank you, James. If they don't make an example out of Miss Russell, other Black women are going to do something similar for the 15 minutes of fame. This is how far they've fallen. She thought she's a grown woman. She still ain't told nobody what she was doing. She wouldn't get out of jail till she told publicly what she was doing. I wouldn't let her out of a jail cell till she told us what she was doing. And wherever she told us that she went, I would check all of the security cameras and ring cameras. And there's always a camera somewhere. You're always being recorded. I would check to see the see on there. I want to know what you did. We make you take a lie detector test. I want to know what you did. We are not going to know because too many people was involved in looking for you and you wasn't missing. I want detailed 48 hours. Go. I don't care how silly it make you look, because I know it's something. I know it's something ignorant. Tell me, else she ain't getting out of here. We'll keep on pushing these court date back. She'll sit in here 5 years waiting on a court date. You will sit in this county jail 5 years waiting on your first court date. I'll make sure of it. I'll go in there and get a I'll wake up out my sleep to come to court and get a continuance. I want to know what you did, and it better make sense. Thank you, the Zone said. Thank you. You're a wonderful sister. Keep cooking. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody's contribution. We about gonna wrap it up. I want to know what you were doing. I want to know why you were doing it. I want to know who else was involved with you, who was with you for them 48 hours. I want to know. Give me your phone. I want to know text messages. I want to know who you call. I subpoena them phone records. Don't play with me. And if 2 + 2 don't equal 4, by the time you get through telling that story, I promise you, you are sitting right in this county jail for as long as I can legally keep you in here. I told you I go in there and get a continuance every year. I go in there every 3 months and get a continuance. I tell you ain't ready. Judge don't care. It's less workload. Thank you, Eno the boss said, ain't no if the army all simps now fighting someone else's wars. Yeah. The simp army is huge. It's more than you think. It's more male simps than you think is out here. Taken up. Why do you think the gynocracy has not stopped yet? Anyway, there's gonna be more because Dr. Umar shenanigans, this was just the tip of the iceberg. And I thought that it should be 2 different subject matters. I didn't want to blend the 2, which is why I didn't really want to talk about it. But we're going to talk about his shenanigans with Sukihana as well. I'm telling you, the simp is dangerous. Thank you so much, Stephen, for the super sticker. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for that. Thank you, Jake Neely, once again, to the simp army out here. Thank you so much, Preem, for the contribution, sweetheart. Thank you as well. That is why Black women have remained like children, because when you don't discipline children when they do things wrong, this is how you get an unruly, undisciplined adult. This is why we used to get whoopings. Okay, I'm still a proponent of a whooping. Okay, not an abuse, but a whooping. A whooping. We can do a whooping. This is why I'm a proponent of whoopings. Because we're going to talk. We're going to explain why you shouldn't do things. We're going to explain what was wrong. We're going to set up parameters so that you can understand things like accountability and things of that nature. And if step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 don't work, I got a step 5 for you. Now, some folks may not rock with that, and that's all right. But if 1 through 4 don't get no results, and I done talked to you, I know full and well you understood what was going on, what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. I done broke it down to you to your age level. It ain't that hard. Now you being willfully disobedient to me. You doing what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. We'll see about it. We'll see about it. But when you don't have any consequence at all, whether you believe in a spanking or not, when you have no consequences, then unruly, egotistical, selfish children become unruly, egotistical, selfish adults that think that they can do whatever they want, and there aren't supposed to be any consequences to things. Maybe people might say, oh, you're wrong or whatever, but nothing is really affecting you in any adverse kind of way. So there's no deterrent for doing anything that you're doing, because there's no deterrent. No one has presented a consequence stern enough for you to make you second guess or think again about doing that again. See, sometimes you got to let them go ahead, touch the stove a little bit. Because I done told you don't touch it. I done put you over there. I done told you it's hot. You must don't know what hot means. Oh, you don't know what hot means. Well, don't touch the stove anyway, just because I said so. That's the last because I said so. Don't touch the stove because I said so. He's over there and touch. Oh, now we know the definition of hot. That is what hot feel like. Now I bet you won't touch that stove no more. Now will you? Yeah, now go sit down. Give me a hand. Y'all right? Go sit down. Thank you so much. So we appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as well, Eric. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Professor Carl Thompson. This proves Shahrazad Ali's point of Black women only maturing to the age of 14, and simps are the strong-armed mules like Bumpy Johnson was at one time. And Bumpy Johnson was at one time. Thank you so much, Professor Carl. Sometimes you gotta let them touch the stove. And these simps don't let these hyenas touch the stove. These simps don't let them hit rock bottom. Go ahead and hit it. We are not saving you at all. Okay? Until that happens, the gynocracy gonna limp on for a few more generations, just completely obliterating what's left of the Black community. They are dangerous. That mentality of simping is dangerous. In any case, I just wanted to bring all of that to everybody's attention. Oh, let me go ahead and see if we got any cash apps, because I don't like forgetting those. So let's see, did we get anything today? Nope, nothing today. Oh, we did get one. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much for your cash app. Thank you. I appreciate that. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.